Hi there and welcome to another Cigar Advisors Cigar Review panel, Cigar Review. I'm Gary Korb, Executive Editor for CigarAdvisor.com, and today we're going to be reviewing the new JFR Lunatic Hysteria Toro from Aganorsa Cigars. So let's get right to it and meet the rest of the panel. He sends his wits out once a month to be sharpened. Jared Gulick is in the house. And every phone call he makes is a perfect call. Give it up for John Pulo, Managing Editor of CigarAdvisor.com. So let's get to the stats on this cigar. This is the JFR Lunatic Hysteria. And remember, any parts of this review that you can't finish, you can take home in a doggy bag.
You said my magic words.
All right.
Doggy bags are magic words.
Ta-da!
The JFR Lunatic Hysteria is made exclusively for famous smoke shop by Aganorsa at the Tabacos de la Jalapa SA factory, which is AKA TABSA. And that is in Esteli, Nicaragua.
Pretty well executed.
Thank you.
Nice.
It says Nicaragua on the box.
Stick the landing.
Okay. It is a 6.5 by 50, which brings it pretty close to a Churchill. And it is a Mexican and San Andrés Maduro wrapper.
Okay.
We have a Mexican San Andrés Maduro wrapper on here. The binder and filler, of course, are Nicaragua. It's Aganorsa grown. And you all know that's from Nicaragua. And it's rolled in two sizes only. There's a Robusto, and we are smoking the Toro.
Okay.
They're presented in box of 20 cigars. Mm-hmm. You can also get them in 5-packs and singles. And I think what we should do is take a look at the cigar. I think it looks really nice. It's got a really nice San Andrés Mexican wrapper on. It's dark.
Yeah, nice dark
It's almost
chocolate.
oscuro.
Yeah.
It's really dark.
You know what catches me about this cigar in particular is if you take a look at it, it's kind of like, you know how chestnuts look? Kind of that streaky look, that black and that this wrapper has that going on. It's kind of and even for a Maduro, San Andrés, there's a little bit of tooth that's on there, so it's a little bit raised, a little bit veiny, but what really catches me is that streaked chestnut look, but well packed.
Yeah, very, very solid.
Yeah,
the draw is excellent.
Even with a closed foot.
Yes, even with the closed foot.
That's interesting.
Anyhow, let's see how it goes when we light it up. Closed foot gives us a little extra leaf to get through.
You know what else I've learned about this cigar in the course of getting ready for this review?
What? Because we've all smoked it already.
Closed foot cigars are very messy.
Yes.
I don't know if you've noticed this too. So you go ahead, you toast it, and the tobacco is lighting, and it's popping, and all of a sudden, so there's a little, bits going. So it is a little bit of a mess once you get started. But that's
well, you could peel it away. You could peel it away.
You could, but people say then you're missing out on a taste of just wrapper tobacco.
Oh, the first puff was sweet, and then all of a sudden, pepper just fired right in there behind it. How about you guys?
I see your sweetness, and I raise you a bit of molasses. So it's kind of tinged with a dark kind of bitterness, but it's still got that sweet undercurrent. You?
A little bit of coffee, but I also had this. I told you this in confidence last week.
Okay.
Seltzer water.
So much for that.
Seltzer water.
How so?
Like
Explain it for these guys.
So it doesn't taste like seltzer water, but it's instead of being tingly like pepper normally is, it's more of like that bubbly sensation that you get from the top.
So the pop of carbonation.
Kinda, yeah.
Across your tongue and palate.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
And I think because there's a little bit of mineral in there too, so that's what might be driving me toward that. But.
Okay. So I see Gary's sweetness. I have kind of a molasses thing. It's very woody. I'll agree with you on the coffee too. So I don't know if that's the power of suggestion or anything else.
Yeah.
But once we start getting in here, I notice that a lot of the sweetness tends to burn off and reveal a pretty sturdy profile.
Oh yeah.
I mean, as we get into this, we're going to be. I'm going to guess. Now, I haven't necessarily compared all notes with you guys, but I'm going to guess that we're going to be talking about some flavors like slightly charred wood. Coffee we've already mentioned, molasses I've already brought up. So if you like those things, I think we're going to be having more of those words in our conversation as we go along here.
Yeah,
it's interesting. I don't know if we would call it molasses, but I think I see where you're getting at. There's definitely some sweetness in there, but the smoke is very peppery and it's getting up into my nose.
Yes.
I don't know if it's the air
Have you
conditioning in here.
Have you retrohaled the cigar at all?
I
at some
did,
point?
yes. I did
Okay.
the sampler, and I'm going to talk about that later in the sample that we did. But
So you guys are getting molasses, both of you?
It sounds to me like his is more of just a sweetness with a laced with a pepper.
yeah,
Mine,
that's what I'm getting, like red pepper.
Mine seems to have like the sweetness has a little bit of body to it, but if you like taste molasses cookies or anything that's made with, it's kind of got that rough, raw, kind of bitter edge. Like the sweetness is there, but it's kind of like burnt sugar. Same kind of
Okay, I
thing.
get what you're saying, because to me, when I was reviewing it and writing it down, I was thinking, man, it's, especially for a San Andrés wrapper, it's not as sweet as I expected it to be,
Yeah.
but there's still some there, it's just a little bit more faint to me. It's just kind of a background.
Yes. One of the things that I know is undercurrent. It's always got this,
Yes.
way
Yes.
in the background of this kind of sweetness that's there. So, but I already noticed it's starting to get a little full. The body is almost full right out of the gate.
Oh yeah, this is
Sure.
definitely a full-bodied cigar. Don't kid yourself. I mean, this is I would say not for someone who's first getting into
No.
cigars. But it's not like blow your head off.
Yet.
Well, it's just a good hearty cigar.
Yet.
Foreshadowing.
In the first act, basically, I'm getting what I got in the sample. It's a semi sweetness in the start, and then it kind of moves to intense earthiness. It's very earthy. You got.
I agree, it's very
And
earthy.
Then concentrated bittersweet chocolate and charry wood. So
Okay.
kind of it starts off kind of bittersweet and peppery, and then it kind of transitions to this sort of mix
Yeah.
of bittersweet chocolate, and rather than molasses in your case.
All right.
That's what I got, and kind of a charry note.
Yeah, I can see it on probably most of those things, because as we get a little bit further into the smoke here, and admittedly I'm smoking probably a little faster than I should for a cigar.
Yeah, we probably are.
It's got this much intensity back
Yeah.
behind it. But what's interesting is we get a little farther in, there are some, I want to say weird, but let's just say vivid flavors.
Okay.
Okay, like things I could readily identify. Like, we were talking about the charred wood, but as we get into like the first third mark here, it gets to be, and we're probably smoking this a little faster than we should, considering this is full of
I'm
bodies.
trying to take my time. I took my time with the sample.
Yeah, right. So the charred wood is like a fire pit.
Okay.
A wood
I
fire
know what
pit.
you mean. Yeah.
Okay, so like my next door neighbor, he burns a fire pit. It just has a certain aroma. It's got that certain. It hits your senses a certain way. This hits the senses a certain way with that kind of charred wood flavor.
Right.
They're Fig Newtons, not just cookie, not just baked goods, not just sweetness. Fig Newton, like very uniquely. Pull it out of nowhere, you can just taste that flavor.
Really?
So there's
you're
that
getting like a
sweetness in there.
figginess.
So that's a little bit of that sweetness coming through.
Yeah. Well, I've tasted figgy notes in a lot of cigars. Yeah.
Toasted grains,
Raisins. Okay.
like cereals, those kind of
Okay.
things. It's kind of got that dry, but body and a little bit of earthy, but grains, like the same kind of. The only reason I know this is because there's a back way to come to work here, and one
Yeah.
of it is going through a field where they grow wheat. And when you roll the windows down, you can kind of get at that smell coming off of the
Really?
wheat that's coming by, and it's kind of it's now a familiar note to me, and I'm sensing some of that in here, and it's weird, but it's this vivid flavor.
So it sounds to me like you're
coming
getting like a lot of distinction, like pointed flavor.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
it's not that there's a lot of them, but it's just hitting my palate in a very interesting way, and then the finish is kind of drying in the same
It
way.
is, I am getting that too.
The tannins, like
I'll concur with the
I've
dry
said,
finish.
I've said it like red wine.
Right.
It kind of dries the palate.
I can see that. Yeah. I'm glad too, if I could digress for a minute, Gary, that you brought up the bigger sizes on the older Lunatics that aren't exclusive to Famous. And what I love that we're offering more approachable sizes, that anyone who had, especially with last year that they got top 10 with one of the JFR Lunatics, people probably looked at that and said, most of their stuff's a little bit too big for me. This allows you to kind of get the door in on a smaller size that's going to be more popular to more smokers. And I'm actually glad that we didn't offer those Hulk sizes.
I think they do make one that's under 62, and
right.
in their line. But this is just really, this is totally different than those. I found those to be a little they're not all, obviously they're different, but I found one to be a little sweeter, one to be a little more peppery. This one is just kind of a mix of it all.
Right.
It's kind of like I'm not getting as much pepper now,
Okay.
but I am getting that charry, smoky wood thing, and there still is that little hint of sweetness in there.
Now, we talked about pepper, and especially on the retrohale. Probably a good time to talk about that.
Well, I just retrohaled it, and it was smooth.
Yeah.
It was not peppery, which is interesting because the retrohale I had on the sample was a mix of cedar and red pepper. I
put down cayenne.
Well, same thing.
Yeah.
So
I just did it too, and it's got a little bit of a.
But to be fair, the retrohale I did on the sample was down in the last third. This is now in the first third, and it's completely different. And I think this is, we talk about retrohale, right? I think this is one of the few cigars where you're really going to get a different mix of flavors, or at least you're going to really taste some flavors when you retrohale it.
Any of you guys, I didn't pick this up on any of the other samples, but I'm just picking up now. Any of you guys got like a licorice or anise note off of it?
I've not gotten that.
Not me.
Just picked this up like just a minute or two ago.
Okay.
The only thing I can think of is maybe that's just happened to be the way you perceive it.
That might be the molasses you're getting, exactly.
I just happen to sense it a little bit of a different way.
Yeah.
So, how about strength? That's the thing we haven't talked about yet. We've talked about body being full. There's plenty of smoke. Talk about strength.
It is a strong cigar to me. When I did this hashtag Now Smoking with Michael Klingerman, he said something that kind of hit me. He said, when I smoke, I kind of let the smoke linger in my mouth, like you would like a drink. You kind of like let it lay on the palate, so you can taste the not just the alcohol, but all the other flavors in, say, a bourbon or something.
Right.
And he said, I just like let the smoke kind of sit in there for a second.
Let it percolate.
I don't inhale it or swallow it, obviously, but so I've been doing that, and I think there's something to it. Just kind of let it.
What do you get? Like, would you say is the additional benefit of leaving it in your mouth for a while?
Well, sometimes you can taste more flavors.
I'm still impressed with the construction. You're probably the better part of past the third mark here. Ash is staying nice and tight.
Yeah.
It's not really flaking.
No,
the
it
burn's
molds
staying
nicely.
pretty straight for, again, for a Maduro, a thicker, oilier leaf.
And it's, I guess this is well, Mexican San Andrés, I find, is not as toothy as, say, broadleaf.
Right.
But
there
this
is
does
some
have a
there.
little tooth to it. You can feel it.
It's got texture, but it's not the, the 80 grit sandpaper that you might be used to.
I mean, look at the rolling. It's seamless. I can't even see what direction they rolled it in unless I look at the very top.
Right.
And it's got a nice cap, too. It's a triple seam cap.
Cuban
Would you agree with that, Jared?
I would agree. I would concur, Mr.
Catman.
Korb.
And
Wait a minute.
So I'm liking this a lot. So who is this cigar for?
If you like strong cigars, or cigars that are strong for the sake of being strong, you will like this cigar a lot. That's just my impression, just because I tend to fall more in the medium body range. But if you like them strong, this you will love.
Yeah.
If you are not into full tilt, full time smokes,
Right.
this is the case where I think pairing it with something is really going to bring, or is really going to draw some extra flavors out of it. We've talked about, probably 2 or 3 very distinct notes, but if you want to, but some of them are undercurrent or just hints of this. You want to draw those out, it's probably a good idea to pair it with something. And I think that'll probably make it an easier experience for somebody that doesn't have as experienced a palate. And interestingly, we were talking about the cigar when it first came in, and I had rye recommended to me.
Right.
Specifically, Angel's Envy finished rye, which is finished in rum casks. And this was specifically chosen because I can see why, because those rum casks, the sweetness of the rum would draw out some of that sweetness that's very subtle throughout the course of the cigar.
Yeah, I would agree with you. In fact, I was going to bring that up because I think this is a cigar that you really need to pair with something that's got a little sparkle to it. I'm not talking about champagne. I'm talking about, like what you said, like a rye, a good bourbon, maybe a sweeter bourbon, just to get some of that sweetness. I mean, at least for me, because I like sweetness, but it's very well balanced. Yeah. I will say that.
That is one thing. The flavor, those particular flavors are intense, even though, like I said, I consider it stronger smoke. Hidden, not so much.
You know what I think this would go well with too?
What's that?
Like, think about like after dinner, you've had your dessert or whatever you've done for your meal.
Yep.
And you brew a cup of tea.
Really?
Just, I'm talking about straight black tea, nothing fancy, no Earl Grey, none of that stuff. Just get your straight black tea, milk and sugar. I bet you this would be awesome because, to your point, it would bring out some of that sweetness, but I think it would also, like the tea notes in that would mellow it out a little bit.
Okay, interesting
Well,
pick.
I found the Ligero.
There it is.
It's right there, and that's why this cigar's my cigar's a little off. Theirs are fine, but there's the Ligero.
Yep.
And you can see it. It's really, when you put it down on the ashtray, it's hard.
Yeah.
Like cherry wood.
There you go.
This shape is also how you know whether it's been rolled properly, because the Ligero should be in the center. So if it makes that cone shape,
I've still got an ash. I can't really tell at the moment. But I mean,
yours
so
is
far
burning very well.
Is burning well. Yours is shaped up very nicely. Yours is shaped up pretty well.
Yeah, I'm not complaining. I mean, this is a non-issue.
We got 3 excellent specimens. I mean, I certainly got not going to take any marks for construction. That's for sure.
no.
So, what else would you like to share?
Well, I would say have this after a full meal.
Okay.
Because I think they really up the steroids on this thing. It's not. I said this is not for the newbie. I said, It basically you're getting it's dealing you a full house of Nicaraguan. You know what I mean? And it's got that what they call the high priming power. To it. And you get to, we found the Ligero. We know there's Ligero in here, so that's giving it a lot of juice.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm kind of liking it. I don't normally smoke this type of cigar, but I think it's. I think, like you said, John, it's for people who really want a lot. They really want to get that big Nicaraguan,
It's same with me. I mean, this is not my everyday kind of cigar. It's an occasional kind of let's really something that digs in deep. And actually, it's made a nice choice for today.
Yeah.
Even for as much as we talked about it being strong, for as much as we talked to it, sometimes you're just looking for something that's just going to give you that wow factor.
Kick in the pants.
It's providing.
Right. Sure. One thing I wanted to add, which is a little unorthodox given that we've chosen a size, but I had the opportunity to sample this in the Robusto size too.
Yeah.
And to my palate, and for those of you who like something I think it's a little sweeter. It smokes a little sweeter as a Robusto. And to me, it just was a lot more balanced in that size. But everyone's going to be different. So what I would recommend is not just try this Toro size, but try the Robusto too and see which one fits best for you.
Yeah, and it's only made in 2 sizes.
Right.
If you had to put a price on this cigar, what would you, at a list price, say? What would you?
My guess? To me, like, this is easily like worth like $8 to $10.
$10. Well, at famous-smoke.com. It's about $6.70.
Are you serious?
Yes,
Yeah,
it's
really?
well under $10.
Wow,
I would agree.
Price.
It's definitely like a $10.
I'm gonna say I overshot the mark by $3. Okay.
You were in the same ballpark as I was on?
I was gonna say 9.
Yeah.
Just because it seemed to be, it's Aganorsa, it's the size, it's San Andrés, it's obviously got some pro grade, weapons grade tobacco.
I like weapons grade.
So it just seems to me that you're going to pay a little extra for that. So it seems to me it would be like a $9.
It's dipped in
but a
depleted
5-pack,
uranium.
they're even cheaper. If you get a 5-pack, they're only like $26.99.
Oh, see,
so divide that by 5.
That's a steal.
And I got to say this, I'm just in love with the stuff coming out of Aganorsa. You know, the whole, you know, everything is super high quality, and I think that itself makes it well worth giving this cigar a try, because you know you're going to get value, you're going to get a good hearty Nicaraguan smoke, and it's going to burn nicely. Mine's starting to straighten out now. See, so I'm telling you, it's just very, very good job, and I'm glad that this is exclusive to famous-smoked.com.
Aganorsa does it again.
Yeah.
What else would you like to add as we wrap it up?
I was going to say that's impressive, and this cigar, I didn't know the price until you just told me, Gary, and this cigar laughs in the face of anyone who says, oh, you can't get a great cigar unless you spend a lot of money on it. BS, and here's the proof.
Yeah, and you know what? These just arrived.
Yeah.
And I got a feeling that, you know, with a little age, they may mellow a little bit.
What will they become?
They're going to be even nicer. Maybe even some of the sweetness will come out a little bit more or something. You know? So I'd like to try it like a couple of months from now, and then see how it does.
Okay.
So
So if I were going to wrap it up into 2 sentences, I would say go slow, because if you oversmoke it, it's going to bring out that charriness.
Yeah.
To probably a degree you're not going to enjoy as much.
Right.
Unless that's your favorite flavor. I would also beat you down with strength if you oversmoke it and go too fast. The other thing is, pairing this cigar, I think, is really going to bring out all the extras, and that's the bow on top.
don't forget to follow cigaradvisor.com, sign up for our emails, and you'll get to see our reviews and stuff like that on YouTube.
Can I also add, if you like this review, like this video,
Yeah.
make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel here at Cigar Advisors so you get more great videos like this. And next time one of these guys put out some kind of a review or something else, click the bell too so that you get notified so that you don't miss out on the next time we put out a video here on the Cigar Advisor channel.
You know, I think I just hit the sweet spot.
There's more great videos like this?
Oh, buddy.
All right. Well, anyway, that's a wrap. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time, and happy smokes.